Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we lost in the first round yet again to the Vegas Golden Knights, unfortunately. But we do have at least a bright future, I think, still with this team, because we do have a lot of good players on this team, and I think we're going to have another solid season ahead. It's just all about trying to keep this roster together, because we do have a lot of big contracts up for renewal, and I feel like we are going to lose some players in terms of depth or in general, because you can see that Jorgensen, he is a UFA this year, and I do not want to lose this guy, so I'm going to do everything I can to get this guy back. Also, we have a lot of RFAs, luckily, because if these guys were all UFAs, we would probably lose a couple of them as well, but guys like Coley Minen, Hartnell, and Herikala are asking for a lot of money as well on top of Jorgensen. So these four players, I'd like to get them back. So more than likely, I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up losing other UFAs like Festorini, Kalinin, and then also guys like Cox probably. And yeah, pretty much those UFAs, because they're probably going to be asking for too much money just because of the fact that they are on a draft to glory team. So probably guys like Jorgensen, Coley Minen, Hartnell, and Herikala are the front runners to get contracts back. But everybody that's an RFA is going to get qualified, and yeah, we're going to still try and get Jorgensen to accept something as low as possible, because I do want this guy back, because if we lose this guy, we're losing out on a guy that's been picking up a lot of points over his career, one of our best players in this franchise mode, and he's also our captain of the team, and he is our only right winger really on this team as well. As you can see, Walzer is the next best, so losing Jorgensen would be pretty detrimental, I think, to this team, so we got to try and find a way to keep him around while also bringing back Coley Minen, Hartnell, and Herikala. Luckily, like I said, these guys are all RFAs, so we could qualify them, but we are running out of time on qualifying them, and eventually they're going to be UFAs, so probably, like I'd say next offseason, I'd like to try and give Coley Minen like an 8-year deal if he's willing to accept something not super outrageous. Herikala, on the other hand, might be one of these guys that eventually leaves the team, but I'd still like to qualify him for a few more years. And then Hartnell as well, we'd probably qualify for a few more years before we give him an 8-year deal or something like that too. So before we get into this entire offseason, I do have a number of comments to go through. So the first one is from HockeyGuy88. He says, Jorgensen is definitely a guy you need to keep. Also, I would take Bouwmeester with your first pick. So yeah, he's also agreeing with what I was just saying about keeping Jorgensen as much as we can. So we are going to try and get him back. Even if it is an 8-year deal and he's getting paid like $11 million, I think he needs to be on this team, because we don't have enough right wingers really otherwise. Like, we'd have to be playing like a centerman on the right side or something like that. But he's saying to take Bouwmeester with our first pick. And yeah, this is an interesting one, because there's two NHL ready defensemen that are supposed to go in our spot, and both of them played on the same team, which is interesting. So you have Jeffrey Bouwmeester, who is the OFD, but he is guaranteed to be NHL ready. And there's also Skylar Kraus, who is a two-way defenseman, and he's looking like he's going to be NHL ready as well. But yeah, both these guys are looking like really good players. Unfortunately, since this is the draft glory, we can't take both of them, but we can take one or the other. Now, Nick Balker's Barons OC said that Skylar Kraus, in my opinion, is the clear choice. Great numbers in an A+ league as a defenseman with X factors. He's NHL ready. He also has a chance to pan out, and if he does, you will be able to move on from a costly defenseman in the future. You have to also think Bouwmeester is an OFD who scored less points than Kraus by a large margin. Kraus will likely sim better and fit your team style. So it's like really arguable on who we draft between the two of these guys. Like, I honestly have no idea who would be probably the better fit, because we know for a fact that Bouwmeester is NHL ready. We don't have that guarantee on Kraus. Kraus is only 3 bars ETA that he's actually NHL ready. They both probably are NHL ready, and they're both probably top 4 defensemen. But I feel like Bouwmeester is probably the higher overall of the two, just based on these attributes. As you can see, there is a pretty big difference between the two of them in that sense. Now, the only thing I would say that taking Kraus would be better in, he's a right-handed defenseman and a right D that we don't have. He's also 17 years old, while Bouwmeester is a left-handed defenseman, and he's 18. Now, what's interesting is Bouwmeester almost has more of a two-way defensive build in a sense, because he's a 6'1", 203 pounds, while Kraus is 6'1", 194. So Bouwmeester's got a little bit more meat on him for an offensive defenseman, which is interesting. So I honestly really don't know who would be the better of the two players to take. Like, I feel like probably we might go with Bouwmeester, but we do also have a lot of OFDs in the system, so it does make sense in that sense to take Kraus, but I really don't know who I am going to be going with. Like, I could honestly just leave it up to a wheel spin, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that or not. Now, Nick also says you may never do this because it would make it easier, but I always allow myself to trade my players for picks, but purely picks because it's really just trading to do the point of the rebuild in the draft. Now, one thing I would do probably in this franchise mode that I think I might do maybe starting next offseason or even this offseason is I won't be trading players on my team for picks. Well, I would be, but basically any player, like even if they have elite potential and max trade value, I'd be trading them for a 7th round pick. And in that 7th round pick, I'd basically have to trade that away for a future 7th and keep on doing that until I don't use that pick at all, basically. Or I could turn that 7th rounder into an actual draft choice, and I won't use that draft choice on our NHL team at all. So, but that would just be a way to take a bad contract off my team. Pretty much like, for example, with Strachan, who's signed for 4 years still at just under $3 million. If I wanted to trade him away for a 7th rounder, I could do that, and then that'll save me some salary cap. But I think I would do that starting next offseason just because it's a little bit of a new rule. So let me know what you guys think about that type of idea for next offseason. And then the last and final comment is from Saturn Otaku. He says, "There's something seriously wrong with the sim engine when it comes to 5v3 power plays, as you had several and not scored on a single one. I've observed this in the same in my own franchise mode." So I feel like for some reason the game is scripted that once you have a power play, no matter if it's a 5-on-3 or not, you have a certain percentage that you could actually score on. And for some reason 5-on-3 doesn't increase that percentage like it should. Because hypothetically, like let's just say like a normal power play, maybe you have a 20% chance or 15% chance that you're going to score on it. And then maybe a 5-on-3, it should increase the percentage of the chance of you actually getting a power play goal to like 30% or something like that. Because 5-on-3s, most teams score on 5-on-3s, maybe not that often, but still, like I would still bump it up at least to like maybe 25%, 20%, just a little bit of an increase to make it a better chance that you score on 5-on-3 opportunities. But anyways, those were the comments I got in last episode, so let's get into this offseason and see if we could keep this team together. And we'll also see what we're able to snag up in this draft. But I really don't know who I'm going to go with our first pick. It's either Bouwmeester for sure or Kraus. I just don't really know which one of the two. Let me go to the draft class scene again. Take a look at these guys. Now, there is argument for actually some forwards around that spot as well, because we don't have a lot of right wingers. Like I said, if we end up losing Jorgensen this offseason, we don't really have a lot of right wingers. So there is argument for taking somebody like Gregory Sagan, as you can see. Like, he's 2 years out and he's a right winger. Like, he's pretty much almost exactly what we need in a sense, but he's only a top 6 forward. Like, if he was an elite potential player, for sure, I would definitely be taking this guy, like, if he was low elite. But as a top 6 forward and being NHL ready, I don't see those guys grow that much. But I don't know. I feel like Sagan could be the best option for this team in a sense. Like, we don't have the best offensive depth, and we do have a lot of defensive prospects. But honestly, we can't really like skip out on like a defenseman that's NHL ready. So I think I'm probably gonna go with Bouwmeester still. I think like we do have a lot more left-handed defensemen than right-handed, so it would make sense to take Kraus in that he's younger as well. But I don't know for sure that he's NHL ready, and then also his attributes are looking much worse in a sense than Bouwmeester's. Like, even though they had different point totals, like Bouwmeester had less points than Kraus did, Kraus might be worse in a sense. I don't really know. It's a really tough call, but I think I might probably go with Bouwmeester, or I might just leave it up to a wheel spin when we get to our pick. But let's take a look at this top 5 of this draft, see what we're missing out on. So Calgary at number 1 is going to take Tunney, who's an 81 sniper. Looking pretty good. Really good shooting category out of the draft. Not surprised, though. 1T. This guy might be like a future like Jerome McGinley for the Flames. So nice pick up there for Calgary. Dallas at number 2. Oh, yeah. I meant to actually show you guys because I actually took a look at this off video. But, yeah, Dallas had a rough season with Bickle. And, yeah, you can see they had the 2nd overall pick. They get an offensive defenseman. So That's a really nice pickup, at least for them. So hopefully that turns around things for them, even though I don't want to really play them in the playoffs. Let me show you guys what I was talking about, though, in Dallas with Bickle, like his point production, and then I'll also show you guys Harry Neal's production in Nashville. So we want to go to left wingers. As you can see, Bickle, he is still signed for 6 more seasons at that cost, but basically his first season in Dallas was pretty detrimental and pretty bad. Like, his point production went from us with 92 points down to 57 points only in Dallas, and he went from a plus 24 to a minus 43. So that's pretty rough there for Frederick Bickle. Hopefully Dallas turns it around, or else this guy might never make the playoffs again. And if he ends up hitting the free agency in a few years, or when his contract's up, then maybe we will try and re-sign him back with the team, because obviously he was a pretty good player with us. And then in Nashville, I'll quickly show you this as well. Goaltender Harry Neal is pretty solid over there so far. He was offered a contract extension, but I don't know if he's going to accept that or what. But yeah, he wasn't making a whole lot in Nashville. He had an average regular season. He had 4 shutouts again, though, so he is picking up a lot of shutouts as he was with us. And he actually had a really solid playoff performance with them as well. So maybe it's just because Nashville's a better defensive team than us, but still good to see Harry Neal doing well in Nashville and getting some playoff time as well. It'll be interesting to see if any of them win Stanley Cups before we end up getting another chance at the Cup. Okay, so Philly at number 3. Let's see what they take, because this episode might be long otherwise. They're going to take Ald, who's a 78 two-way forward. Might not have any X factors. Maybe he does. We can't really tell. Chicago at 4 is going to take Witka, who's a 78 sniper. Also got 1T as his own ability. Interesting. So 2 snipers in the top 4. And the 5th overall pick is going to be a DFD in Jimmy Pierce, who's an old school defenseman. You love to see it. Got the truculence, the bouncer, quick pick, stick him up. Yeah, that's a pretty solid defensive defenseman there for the St. Louis Blues. Okay, let's sim to our pick now and make that decision, as hard as it is. Yeah, I don't really know what I want to go with here, because I see the argument for both. I see we could use both, but obviously, like I said, since this is the Draft to Glory franchise mode, I can't take both. If this was the Chicago series, I'd be able to take both. I think we need some more offense from the back end, because I think I want to lock up Coley Minen for quite a number of years once his contract is up eventually. And then like Eric Halla is the only offensive defenseman. He might be on the chopping block eventually, so I feel like we still need an OFD for this team's defensive core in a sense. Yeah, we're going to go with Bouwmeester in that regards, I think. Yeah, let's take Bouwmeester here. Tough choice, but 78 out of the draft. He is listed as a top 6 defenseman already, but I honestly might play him 1 year in the AHL. I probably will end up pre-recording next episode as well, but yeah, he's probably going to get 1 year in the AHL at least, or half a season in the AHL, just because I want him to get a lot of ice time. He's got elite edges, so he's good at skating, and he's also got good wrist shots, apparently, from the point and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's looking pretty good out of the draft, I would say. I mean, that offensive awareness is where you want it. It's up there. Once it gets to like a 90, that'll be great. His passing's pretty solid. He's got good shooting. Yeah, I like that pick. But I am curious on what Krause looks like. I wish I could have grabbed both of them, but honestly, I wouldn't be able to do them in this franchise mode. So, looks like Krause is going to go to St. Louis. No, he's not. He's probably going to Pittsburgh then. No, still has not gone yet, surprisingly. Sagan was a 67 power forward, and he's wearing number 91. That's kind of funny. So maybe Tyler Sagan's kid. That's what we passed up on. That's one of the guys I was looking at potentially grabbing, but he goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and still he has not gone yet. He doesn't go till the last pick of this round. Wow, Krause might have been like a second-round pick instead, which kind of sucks, but yeah, he was a second-round pick he's going to be. Where is he going to go, though? Because he has not gone yet. This is a good draft class, and he goes second pick in the second round. He's a 76. He also has Heat Seeker, and he also has Tape to Tape. And this is what his attributes look like. He's more defensively minded, but he has a really good shot power. Interesting. So I don't really know who the better of the two players is, but this is a really strong draft when there's top 6 forwards still going in the second round. So let's see if we could get any more good prospects into our team, because we definitely could use those, especially if we lose people to free agency down the road. I did pin Somik, who is a medium elite goaltender, but he's 19. There's also Jemin Boblev, who has good shooting, but pretty much nothing else, and he's only a low top 6. Might be a low elite defenseman here, 3 years out. I honestly don't know where I want to go with at this stage. Like, these gems that are low top 6s are intriguing, but I don't think they ever really pan out. Like, they stay at like in 70s and stuff like that. I might honestly go with Boblev though, just because of the shooting, or I could go with a low top 4 because I have seen those guys pan out sometimes. Ackers might be low and late though. Yeah, let's take the chance with Ackers here that he's low and late. Welcome aboard, Tate Ackers. Low top 4, 62. It's not bad, I guess. We'll see if he pans out, but let's see the rest of this draft so far. Wow, medium elite in Patan, starter in Yelkinen, medium elite in Higgins. Geez, yeah, this is a lot of good players in this draft. Look at all these medium elites going in just in this round that we wouldn't have been able to get. Now they're medium elite. Geez, there was like 3 medium elite goalies in the second round here. Wow. Yeah, this might be one of the best draft classes we've seen in a while in terms of depth. And now there's a lot of medium starters going. Damn, there's a lot of goalies in this draft. So I feel like we should probably snag at least one of them. This guy has a weakness in character though, so I don't really like that. Sawchuk. I feel like we should just grab as much defenders as possible, almost, just to find ourselves one that's eventually going to make it. Or I could go with a low top 6 that might have some X factors and send it. Let's try with this guy, left wing / center. Why not? Low top 6, 60 overall. Probably won't make it, but still, we'll see if he ends up making it. Yeah, this is a pretty strong draft class. Letang. There was a defenseman I pinned for the 7th round, so we have to go through the rest of his draft. Valachevic, shot utilization's not good. Probably not that great of a defenseman. Let's go with this guy instead in Letang. Low top 9 grinder. Yeah, not necessarily the best draft class in terms of what we're getting, but I will take it. And for some reason we got offered a trade and then it went away. That's a bit weird. I don't ever get offered trades. I think I had that turned off, so I don't know why that popped up. What else we got here? We might just have to take the low late now because this draft class has dropped off a lot now, and I don't really want to take bottom 6 forwards. So let's take Morgan Denny already. He's a low late offensive defenseman. He's a project player, but we will take him anyways. 48 overall out of the draft. Yeah, he's definitely a project player, but if he develops really well, that might be a huge steal. Let's take a few more picks. We have a lot of stuff to do this offseason and getting this team back to ready for the season, but I am really scared if we lose Jorgensen. I'm going to take Patterson here. Medium top 9 power forward's not terrible. And the last pick of the draft, let's just see if we could find ourselves a diamond in the rough situation here. If there is anybody, somebody with B- shooting potentially in Karada, or Murata, not Karada. Why did I say Karada? It's like karate. Ooh, okay. Torsten Nylander, he is 20 years old, and he's guaranteed low top 9, but we'll take him. Why not? Might be a good AHL player. 60 overall is pretty solid. Yeah, that guy might become an AHLer, who knows. So there is our draft. I wouldn't say the best draft, but we at least get a 78 offensive defenseman out of the draft. And like I said, I think I will play him in the AHL next season to start off with, just to see how he develops. Because if he plays in the AHL one year, he probably will develop better than he would be if he gets thrown on the top 6 right away, even though he's listed as a top 6 defenseman. Okay, so re-sign stage-wise, we do have to get back our head coach, and then we also have to find ourselves like an assistant coach probably this offseason. So let's get back our head coach, and let's give him a lot of money and get him to accept that, because we definitely need this coach back. He's been doing pretty well for us, I'd say, but obviously at some stage we could replace him. There you go. And then we have all these scouts to get back as well. We'll sign them all up until they start dropping off a lot. And then we'll eventually replace them. But our scouts do, I'd say, a decent job in this franchise mode. Some of them don't do as well, but usually we get some gems scouted out, which is always nice to see. And we got McNeely to sign as well. Anybody else? One more here in Lintner. Ruslana. That's an interesting name. Okay. So there's our scouts. And now comes the toughest part of this episode, likely, and that is the re-sign stage. So we have only 40 million in cap space. That is not good at all. We are going to qualify every RFA though, because they are going to be asking for a ton of money. And then I need to also bring back Jorgensen in terms of UFAs, but I feel like every other UFA, which means Kalinin as well, is likely gone from this team, which is not good, but it has to be done. So Festerini is going to be probably gone. Cox is probably going to be gone unless we could sign him at the start of the next season, but yeah, those guys are going to get qualified. Hopefully nobody sends them qualifying offers, but let's sign Savonin. Why not? Low top 4. Oh, man. These guys are going to want one-way deals, right? Yeah, I can't give them that. I'm going to have to write down these player names. Let me just grab myself a pen and paper, but I'm going to have to write down these guys' names in case they are there at the start of next season, because we could probably use these guys for the AHL team on two-way contracts, but right now they don't want two-way contracts, which is annoying. I don't know why draft glories always result in this type of thing, but they do. So we'll also write down Hull. I'm going to also write down Cox and stuff, because Cox and Festerini, I think these guys are gone unless they want cheaper contracts when we get the chance. But yeah, all these guys for sure on UFAs are gone except for Jorgensen, because I am going to try and negotiate with Jorgensen, see if I could find a way to keep him here as long as possible and for as cheap as possible. So we'll write down all of these names that I am letting go of just in case. I'm going to let go of U-Pusher, Ferraro. Hopefully those guys are still there at the start of the season. The rest of these draft picks don't look like they're panning out. They're a little bit too old. So we'll let go of all these guys. I might sign Acton though. He was a third rounder. He's got top 9 potential. He's only 19, so we'll sign him up. And yeah, Pierce Hull as well is going to be gone for now. Cox is gone. Actually, I'll need to do these guys a little bit more justice than that. What does Duncan want? He wants to... That's a lot of money for a guy that has not played a single NHL season yet. But, I might have to wait on that, because I want to kind of run 3 goalies this year, so not 100% sure what we're going to do with that. I will let go of Pustonen for the AHL team, though. Let me go to unsigned for a second here. Sign the guy we just drafted. Yeah, nobody else needs a contract from there. Okay, so... yeah, let's do these guys justice. So first and foremost, getting rid of this offseason, we're letting go of Kalinin after 3 seasons, or 2.5 seasons for him. Solid defensive defenseman, nothing too special, but I have to let him go for now. He's probably going to get a contract somewhere else, but we can't really afford to keep him around because he's asking for like $4 million. So best of luck in free agency, Kalinin. Hopefully you find yourself a good team. And hopefully you go on to maybe win yourself the Stanley Cup. We're also going to let go of Cox for now, I think. Even though he is, relatively cheap, I need to let go of him for now just to make sure I have enough cap space for all the RFAs. So Cox, after you were a 5th rounder of ours back in 2024, so you were a pretty good steal. Your career high was like 35 points. You are going to be headed to free agency. If you're there at the start of the season and we need to sign more players, we'll bring you back on like an $800,000 deal. There you go. And this one's probably the toughest out of the bunch that we're going to be letting go of right now, and that is Bryson Festerini. This guy's been a very interesting player. He really had a bad season though this last year, but unfortunately he has to walk. He had a career high of 61 points, and then he had a career high of 63 points a few years later. Like, he was really good, and then this year he's getting less ice time, so his production dropped off quite a bit. So he's unfortunately going to head to free agency as well, because yeah, I can't really justify $4 million because of the fact Jorgensen's going to cost like 11 maybe, and then all these three top guys are going to ask for a shit ton as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, Festorini's got to go for now as well, but hopefully we could bring him back at some point. Jorgensen now, let's see if we can negotiate with Jorgensen. Oh my goodness. He doesn't even want an extension, so I have to probably give him something in this range. We'd be down to like 27 million in cap space, which means one of these RFAs would probably hold out, or some of these RFAs might be like holding out all next season. Oh, Jorgensen, why do you gotta be such a... Oh man, this is a lot of money. Like, I could try the 85% thing first. We'll try that. And if he does not accept 85% off, which I don't think he's going to, we might have to let him walk and then let's see if he lowers his asking price. But I feel like other teams might be interested in him in the offseason. But he's a player we need to have on this team because we don't have a lot of right wingers. So I think I almost have to do exactly what he's asking for. Like, he's one of the players that we shouldn't really be letting go of at this stage. Like, he'd be signed till he's done his career at 36 likely. So we'll try the 85% trick, but I don't think he's going to accept this because it is way too low for him. But if he accepts it, that would be really nice. Because, I mean, we drafted this guy. He's had some great success with this team, and he knows that he is essential to this team's success. So let's try this 8-year 11.625, see if he accepts that. And if he does not accept that, we might have to renegotiate a few things. And then, yeah, Duncan, I don't really know if I can get Duncan back. I might have to, can I buy out Strachan? I think I can buy out Strachan this part, right? Because I think Strachan being bought out might make sense. Does it pop up with, like, how much I'd be paying to buy him out? The ooh, okay, I could buy him out. I would have to pay him $875,000 for the next 6 years. So basically we'd be saving some cap space. I think I might have to buy out Strachan. I'm not going to do it just yet, but I think I am going to be buying out Strachan this offseason. This episode's already a little bit long, but that's okay. But I think I might buy out Strachan because that contract is kind of crippling me a little bit here. Let's advance today, see if we get Jorgensen on that contract. Did that coach not accept? I don't know if he accepted. Let's see. Come on, I don't care about you scouts. I want to know about Jorgensen. He decided to reject. God damn it, Jorgensen. Okay, we're just going to give him what he's asking for and see if he accepts that. But this might cripple us, and we're more than likely going to have to buy out Strachan after this deal. So let's see if he accepts that contract that he's asking for. He decided to accept. Okay, well, he does cripple us in terms of the cap. We have all these guys to sign with $25 million. I wish I could see if these guys would accept first before buying out Strachan. But I think we might still just buy out Strachan, to be honest, to be a little safe. Because right now he would be probably our 7th defenseman, I think. Actually, no, maybe he would be a top 6 defenseman for his team. Yeah, he would be. Because Bouwmeester, I would like to play in the AHL. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy him out yet. I might buy him out next offseason, though. But it does save us a lot more cap space. And I need, like, if we go to those RFAs, like right now, Coley Minen is asking for 14. That's quite pricey. And then Harakal is asking for, like, 8. Farrell's asking for 6. Cox is still in RFA as well. Yeah, I think we might have to buy him out regardless. And then we might have to play the youngster this year already, which is something I didn't really want to do. But we might have to because of salary cap. Yeah, we're going to buy out Strachan, I think. Unfortunately, this is the only thing I think we could do to save some cap space. I could trade him away and get rid of the full cap space, but I don't think I want to try and do that thing this offseason yet. I might want to wait till next offseason. Like, paying him $825K over 6 years isn't terrible. So, yeah, we're going to buy him out. This is my first time ever doing a buyout, but Keegan Strachan, unfortunately, we're going to buy you out. just because of the fact this team needs more cap space. So we're going to buy you out. And there we go. Strachan is headed to the free agent market. So there he is, bought out. Can I buy him out and then sign him again free agency? Okay, so now we just have all those RFAs left. Yep. And 27 million in cap space. Is it enough to sign everybody? Hopefully. But we're getting to the point where we might lose guys' rights eventually, like Coley Mine and Heracala, that type of thing. But hopefully these guys do not get qualified by any team, or else we're going to be in a very bad spot. Okay, let's send to free agency now. See if anybody accepts their contracts already. Okay. Oh yeah, we did lose our head coach. He didn't accept. So we are gonna have to align ourselves to that head coach again. Clermont, why didn't you accept, man? We do have the money to buy you. So I don't understand why he didn't accept that. Let me just take a look and see. Yeah, he's... Oh, there's a 62. Do I find ourselves a new head coach? This guy doesn't really work well with almost everybody, so... let me take a look at Clermont, though. This guy works really good with... Who was it? Zikov, the defenseman. Let's go with maybe a new coach. And DeSalvatore. Yeah, let's give ourselves a new head coach here. Give him more money as well to accept. But, yeah, we need ourselves a new head coach anyways. So there you go on the coaching front. And, yeah, hopefully nobody tenders any offers to our RFAs, or else we might end up losing one of them. Okay, so that is good. And I think that's all I really needed to do this offseason. So let's advance more towards next season. See if any of our RFAs start to accept. Hopefully we get some of them accepting. There you go. So DeSalvatore is going to be our head coach this upcoming season, so that should be interesting. Walzer accepts, so there's one RFA dealt with. Cassian accepts, okay. Some AHL guys. Byron Farrell accepts, which is good. This guy's going to be playing in the NHL probably this season. Heracala has accepted. That's huge. Garachev accepts. Fleury accepts. Persinger. Eichel's accepted. Okay, so Heracala accepting already might have eaten up a good chunk of space. We actually have 20 million still, and we only have 4 RFAs to deal with, which are the guys I expected right now. Hopefully some of them accept soon, but how much is Coley Mine asking for now? 8.675. 7 million, 15 total. We might honestly not be able to bring back Farrell. Yeah, Farrell might not come back. Our defensive core might take a huge hit. Depending on these guys, if they drop their asking prices more, but it is very tight on cap space. I have seen some other teams, though. I was looking at the cap space situation around the league, and there was other teams that were very close on the cap space. Like one team was like 5,000 above or below the cap space. So just keep on holding those RFAs till the start of the season so they drop their asking price as much as possible. There's Coley Minen, who's accepted. Thank you, Coley Minen. So that means we have still Cox as in the goaltender, and Farrell, the defenseman, who's holding out. But we do get Coley Minen back, which is really good. Oh, we also have Hartnell holding out, too. Okay, now I should be able to afford all these guys, I think. Yeah, I could afford all of them. I think. Yep, we could afford them all. Good. Good. So we should still have a good season ahead. Luckily, these guys are still RFAs, but we might... Like, Farrell's a UFA next offseason, which is unfortunate. We might lose him, and our defensive core might get worse, which is kind of okay, but still. There you go. It's advance a day, I guess, or so, and then they should accept, and then we should be ready for the start of next season. I apologize if this episode was long. It's just we needed to get this team set up. And we managed to get Jorgensen back, which is good, but it will handicap us in terms of people that are up for renewal in the next few off seasons. Let me go to roster moves quickly here and make sure the right guys are in the lineup. Anybody that should get called up? No. That's a different Bowmeister. Yeah, that's good. Nobody needs to get called up. So our team is definitely taking a hit a little bit, but it's not the worst thing. Yeah, it's actually not looking too bad still, all things considered. We'll go something like that. How good is Farrell's face-offs? Better than Claxton's, I think, right? No, actually, Claxton's better than he was on the draw. He used to be pretty terrible. Ooh, I don't like Wong going into our top 6, but that might have to happen. Yeah, that might have to happen. I don't really like that. Actually, I can move Walzer into our top 6 since he's an actual sniper, I think. But, yeah, our team is definitely suffering a little bit of a hit. But it's still looking decent. Especially that right side, though. Like, imagine if we would have lost Jorgensen, how bad this right side would have been. It would have been absolutely terrible. Actually, what I might do is actually move Claxton up onto the right side since he's a left-handed shot. Yeah, let's try something like this instead. Yeah, we'll do something like that. And then defensively, at least we still look pretty strong defensively. Shane and Eichel's jumped up. Interesting. Where is that Bowmeister guy we just drafted, though? Oh, there he is. He needs to play. So we got to get Bowmeister in. Yeah, he doesn't really fit on that top 6 pairing that well. We might have to just run with that. And this is a new coach too, so yeah, we might have to just run with this, to be honest. But Bowmeister on his offside since he's an OFD anyways. These two guys need to go back to the AHL, but Eichel is literally almost a NHL defenseman, which is good. He is an OFD that was drafted in the 7th round before, so we'll send those two guys down so they at least get some playing time. Because we don't need them just sitting there on the bench. There we go. Did I get Duncan back or did I let Duncan walk? I don't remember now. Because if I let Duncan walk, that sucks. I did let Duncan walk. I don't know if he's still there in free agency, though, because if he is, then he might be a good goalie to bring back. Okay, so that's set up nicely. AHL-wise, there was no scratches. There is a couple, but probably get Savonin in instead of Fleury. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this team does this season. So, there is that. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so let me go quickly to the free agent pool. See if there's any of those players I let go of. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're waiting on Hartnell to accept still, too. That's why our team looks a little bit barren. Oops. There we go. Now Hartnell is accepted. There we go. There we go. Now our team's actually going to look better. I was like, wait a second. Because I didn't realize our team was missing Hartnell somehow. But Hartnell coming to the team definitely is going to make us a lot better than it looks right now. Or a lot better than it was. So we'll probably do something along these lines. Take Vandenbush out. And yeah, this team is looking much better now. Vandenbush could probably get sent down. Unless I want to play him instead of Cassian. I think I might actually try that. Because we do need some grit on the team. But that does give us a minus. Okay, that fixes things a little bit, but Walzer is not at center. And we'll leave it maybe like this. I don't really know what to do. I'll just leave it like that, I think. Yeah. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft the Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the season simulation. I probably will pre-record next episode, and we'll see what this team can do with a new head coach and also losing out on a few players and bringing them back. And yeah, we'll see where those players sign in all that team in next episode as well. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.